When getting a tarot reading, we may have in mind exactly what we want spirit to communicate with us. From a simple question or questions about a change of career, health, clarity on inner peace and growth, or sometimes we just want a reading to see what spirit has in store for us. What does spirit want to tell us? One of the main concerns people have is being scared of what the tarot reader may say or what spirit may say. Some people just simply do not want to hear bad news, or they're scared of something they may find out that's far off in the future, and they find it out today and it's going to just completely change their entire life path, and life isn't going to be as peaceful as they planned. They feel like having this information will just throw everything off track. And this fear may seem a bit exaggerated, but it's common and it's an understandable concern. Although tarot readings are meant to help and guide you, just guidance, not telling you what to do, how to do it, but just a glimpse of what could happen with where you're at right now, sometimes you can get news that's not as desirable. Like in this case, finding out that your spouse is cheating. Hey y'all, I'm BlaqueWitchYaYa. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. But before we start this video, it would be wrong of me not to wish you guys a happy international, it's BlaqueWitchYaYa's birthday. It is officially the most wonderful time of the year. So a lot of you guys already know, and some of you guys have guessed it, I am a Gemini. I hope that does not change your perspective of me. I promise you, I'm one of the cool Geminis, okay? I'm not a regular mom, I'm a cool mom. And you may be asking yourself right now, oh my gosh, Yaya, we just love you so much. What do you want for your birthday? And that's so kind. This is why I love y'all. For my birthday, for my very, very special birthday, if everyone watching this, I would really appreciate it if every single person watching this can send me $1 on Cash App. $2 if you're a Capricorn, because I know y'all got it. But at least $1 for everyone watching this. No matter when you're watching this. If you're watching this months from now, it's never too late to celebrate International It's BlaqueWitchYaYa's birthday. So thank you guys in advance for all the happy birthdays and all the dollars you guys have sent me. I truly appreciate it. So let's get into this story. So for our first story, we are going to be talking about Jenna. She is a pet shop owner, and she was in a loving, healthy, loyal relationship with her boyfriend Ben. So she thought everything was going rather smooth until one day she seen a text flash on his phone. Nothing concerning, but it gave her a uncomfortable feeling, we'll say. Now Jenna is a tarot card reader as well as being a pet shop owner, but she never gave herself a reading before, which to me is odd because usually that's like how you practice, by giving readings to yourself. But she used this opportunity to give herself a reading to see what this uneasy feeling she got from the text that she saw before. She wanted to know what was that all about. So she sets everything up, how she sets up her readings for her client, and she begins to give herself a reading. Now during this reading, she turned over 2 queens in a row, which told her that there were 2 women in Ben's life. Now what does the queen card mean? It honestly depends on the tarot reader, the cards that were pulled before, the overall messaging of the reading or the question that you asked. But in general, the queen card represents these qualities regardless of its appearance in the past, present, or future position of a reading. The tarot deck is dealt out in a spread and cards land in a position representing one of these time frames. Now, when a queen appears in the past position, the reference is inevitably to your mother or a strong woman in your past. Your own emotional strength from years gone by may be illustrated here. In the present position, a queen asserts that you have mastered your feelings regarding a current situation. Like in many fairy tales, the queen card in the future position shouts, and they lived happily ever after. This is an indicator that your intuition will produce clear results about a direction that will be taken. Following your feelings is affirmed by a queen card, especially when she awaits you in the future. Each queen's specific area of interest is indicated by the suit she oversees. There's Queen of Swords, Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups, Queen of Pentacles, and depending on the tarot deck you have, the queen can be represented in many other ways as well. So for this specific reading that Jenna was doing on herself, when the 2 queens popped up, that helped her put 2 and 2 together, that there was some extracurricular activity going on in her relationship. Usually when going in for a reading for one specific question, it seems like you're very cloudy, you don't know what to do, but it's like as soon as you get that reading and get the clarity, everything else starts adding up. You start seeing all these signs and symbols that you missed before. And this is what happened here. By a simple phone call to her boyfriends, to Jenna's boyfriend's sister, asking, hey, I've been getting this weird feeling about Ben. Do you know anything about him? I know that's your brother, but I just been getting this iffy feeling that he's cheating. And the sister's like, yeah, he has 2 girlfriends. And this is where I pose the question. If you knew your sibling was cheating on their spouse, would you tell them, or would you just play dumb or stay out of it? That's not my business. Like, that's between my name Paul, that's between y'all. Let me know what you would do. Because reading this, I'm like, why is she just so blatantly admitting this now? I guess because she came to her with the information, so she wasn't breaking the news to her since she already knew. But anywho, Jenna confronted her boyfriend about cheating, and of course he denied it. He cried, he lied, I will never do this to you, how could you? But when Jenna wasn't believing it and she began to gather all her things to get her stuff out of his apartment, the begging and pleading turned to yelling and screaming, and he actually started hitting and kicking her so bad to the point she had to go to the hospital where she had to be treated for a fractured ankle. So from that point on, Ben was ducking and dodging the police until they caught up with him, and he was sentenced to a year and 4 months in prison for the assault. Now, this is a case of a reading that helped and injured someone in the process. So it's important when getting a reading to prepare yourself for the answers you may get that you did not initially want, or going in thinking, I'm in a healthy relationship, my man would never, and you find out your man has the entire time, or your woman has the entire time. Getting these answers so blunt and honest and right in front of your face, you may be in denial, you may not be believing it, you may not be ready to digest it. So just know what you're asking spirit for when you're going into a reading. And if you didn't even ask this question but it comes up, that's a form of protection that spirit wants to give you a heads up, like, hey, this is going on in your relationship. So just take it as a form of protection, and just prepare yourself when you're getting a reading that you may get some more information that you did not ask for, but in the end is all to help you. A reading is never to hinder you or to scare you, it's to just provide guidance. Now, there is another case where a cheating mate was exposed in a reading. This is actually quite common, and this is how most spiritual girls and boys found out that their spouse is cheating. So in this case, we are going to talk about Samantha, and Samantha had always been fascinated by the mystical and the unknown. So one day, feeling particularly anxious about her relationship, which is, I feel like, the wrong time to get a reading when you're feeling anxious or just unbalanced, she decided to visit a local tarot reader, Miss Evelyn. Now, this is not the same Miss Evelyn from my story of the lady who sabotaged the girl botanica shop. Not that Miss Evelyn. This is a completely different one. Miss Evelyn was known for her accuracy and insight. Samantha had been dating her boyfriend, we'll call him Jake, for a few years, and while things had been good, she noticed some inconsistencies, some unsettling changes in his behavior recently. So she booked an appointment with Miss Evelyn, and while sitting in her cozy candlelit room, Samantha felt a mix of excitement and intimidation. Being in a room where the candles are lit, the cars are out, it feels like a peaceful feeling, but you're feeling like you're about to get some bad news, so it's just a little bit uneasy. But after a brief chat about her concerns, Miss Evelyn shuffled her cards and she asked Samantha to focus on her relationship with Jake while selecting a few cards. Miss Evelyn then laid out the cards in a traditional Celtic cross spread. Samantha's eyes were immediately drawn to the 10 of Swords at the center of the spread. Now, this card is often associated with betrayal and painful endings. Miss Evelyn gently explained that this card, combined with the 3 of Swords, meaning heartbreak, and the 7 of Swords, meaning deception, suggested that Samantha might be facing a significant emotional challenge involving deceit. So Samantha's heart is pounding, and Miss Evelyn is continuing. The High Priestess card, representing intuition and hidden knowledge, indicates that deep down, Samantha might already know the truth, but just needed confirmation that Miss Evelyn knew it was her role to provide. The reading was unsettling, but not entirely surprising. Samantha had felt that something was off for months, but she just wanted that confirmation. She didn't know if it was women intuition or her just being jealous or just feeling a little insecure about the relationship. So determined to find out the truth, Samantha decided to follow her instincts. She started paying closer attention to Jake's actions and noticed he was frequently texting someone he claimed was a work friend. A work friend or a work wife. One evening when Jake was in the shower, Samantha couldn't resist the urge to check his phone. Her heart sank as she read a series of intimate messages between Jake and this work friend. Confronting Jake was one of the hardest things Samantha had to ever do because she was scared of his reaction. She was scared of standing her ground and saying, hey, I know this about you, explain why. Jake admitted admitted to the affair, and though he apologized, the damage was done, because she's like, you've been lying this entire time, but now I know the truth, but that's just what I needed to walk away. So Samantha ended the relationship feeling a mix of relief and sorrow. Now, the tarot reading had been a catalyst for Samantha to trust her instincts and seek out the truth. While the revelation was painful, it ultimately led her to a path of self-discovery and healing. She focused on rebuilding her life, and over time she found strength in herself that she already knew she had, but just had to tap into it. Samantha continued to consult tarot cards, not for predictions, but as a tool for reflection and guidance. And while learning to trust her instincts, she realized that sometimes the cards simply helped her see what she already knew deep down inside, empowering her to make more difficult decisions and knowing that spirit will not lead her in the wrong way. Now, doing this video about tarot readings, I have to remind you guys that I do not offer tarot readings. So if you get a message from someone claiming to be BlaqueWitchYaYa, it's not me, okay? It's not their birthday today. They are frauds, okay? It's not me. I don't offer any readings. All services are done on BlaqueWitchYaYa.com, unless for holidays like today. International is BlaqueWitchYaYa's birthday, where you can give me monetary donations via Cash App. So yeah, if anybody's like, oh, you want a reading, Cash App me, that's not me. I'm not going to DM you and ask you, okay? But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. Share some reading stories that you guys have down below, where you went in for one question but you ended up finding something else that helped you in the end. Did it scare you? Or you know what, tell me, what was your first tarot reading like? What was that experience like for you? Let us know down below so we can all share our experiences. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. And like I always say, as above, so below, as within, so without, as the universal, the soul. Until next time, you guys, happy International It's BlaqueWitchYaYa's birthday. Ashe, baby.